Hello friends, my name is Jess and welcome back to my channel, Books Past Bedtime. Now, it is a new month, which means it is time for another monthly reset video. In today's video, we're going to be resetting my life for March, giving myself a clean slate, a fresh start for the new month so I can be productive, happy, healthy, all the good things. So that's all I really need to introduce. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here's my little to-do list for today. We are going to review my February goals and my February TBR, see what I got accomplished, see what areas I have for improvement for the new month. I also want to update my Goodreads and Storygraph. I also am going to update my reading spreadsheet with you guys. We're going to do content planning. We're going to update my reading journal and make my March pages. And we are also going to make my March goals and TBR. Last but certainly not least. This is going to run very similar to last month, hopefully more productively. Hopefully it won't take me 3 hours to film this one. We're gonna try and be more efficient today. So that is honestly my main goal for this video this month. In hopes of this not being 2 hours, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so like I said, the first thing that I want to do is go over my February goals and my February TBR, and we will kind of see where I'm at, see what I got accomplished. Alright, so here are my February goals and TBR. Let's go over them. In February, I wanted to read 17 books. Unfortunately, I did not accomplish this. I experienced a book hangover reading slump the last half of the month. So I only ended up reading 13 books. So thus, I did not read 17 books, unfortunately. Did not do that. Did I complete the buzzword and buzz cover challenges? I did do this. So I did one book for both challenges. I probably could get away with finding something else, but the buzzword challenge was to read a book with a ocean sea themed word in the title, and for that I read Hazelbly and the Deep Blue Sea. It literally has the word sea in the title. And the buzz cover challenge was for a cityscape, a landscape, some kind of outline, or what is the word? Cover featuring a skyline. And Hazelbly and the Deep Blue Sea also does this, so I'm counting this book for both of these. I'm sure I probably read another book featuring a skyline, but this one's the easiest, counts for both. I did complete the buzz cover and the buzzword-a-thon challenges for February. Pat myself on the back. Now, I also wanted to be consistent on YouTube, and I posted 5 videos this month, which is 3 more than last month. So I do think I'm being more consistent on YouTube. Ideally, I would like to post 2 videos a week minimum. I want to post 1 video a week, and I definitely did that, posting 5 in February. So I am going to count that goal as complete. I also wanted to resurrect my Instagram in February though, and unfortunately that did not happen. I did not post anything on Instagram, so we're going to count that goal as not completed. So 50% of my goal is completed for February. Probably going to do similar goals for March. Maybe one of these months I will complete all of them. Alright, now we're going to look at my TBR. Like I said, I did have a pretty bad reading slump the last half of the month, so I definitely didn't read as much as I wanted to. For the books that I meant to read in January, I did finish 2 of those, and I did not get to the 2 Hungers of Prince Pierre. For the sports romance recommendation, I did get that video out in February, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I think it's a good video, a lot of good recs, a lot of great books that I highlighted in that video, and I did read these 3 to see if I wanted to include them on my TBR. Only one of them made it. If I wanted to include them in my recommendations, only one of them made it, so if you're curious which one, definitely watch that video. For my queer historical romance vlog, I completed 1 book for it, and I started this one. Actually, I technically started this one too, but I only read one chapter. So this is 50% complete. It should come out in the next week or 2, but I didn't do it in February. For my Ashley Herring Blake guide, I still have not read Suffer Love or How to Make a Wish, but I did actually read Hazelbly and the Deep Blue Sea. I finished that the last day of the month or the day before. I did not read anything for my longest books vlog, and I did not read my February NetGalley release either, so that's not great. My NetGalley goals are really just, they're not working out for me too much. They're just not. Alright, so we have officially reviewed my February goals and TBR, so let's go ahead and move on to updating Goodreads Storygraph and my reading spreadsheet. We're gonna kind of do all of this at once, so let's hop into it. Alright, here we are on my Goodreads. Because I didn't read anything the last half of the month, I don't have much to update, so honestly, we just have this book to update. So hopefully this will go a lot quicker than last month. I did love Hazelbly and the Deep Blue Sea. I was so happy to be back in the world of Ashley Herring Blake's middle grades. They're some of my favorites. I like them, I think, more than her adult romances. I just think that they're so adorable and so cute, and I love them. They're so sweet, and they're so like emotional and deep, and they're just great. They're just wonderful. I love them. This isn't really a romance, but I am tagging some of these tropes, especially like the representation things. I finished this on February the 27th. Did I actually start it then? Started it on the 10th. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this too, so we're gonna go right over to Storygraph, but I am going to post that, and that is Goodreads updated, I'm pretty sure. Super easy, super quick. Our reading challenge is 29 books read, which is what I calculated, so that's all correct. It's a little sneak peek prior to my wrap up, which should be the next video coming out. I also am gonna go ahead and update these books because I am currently reading them. This is not how many pages are in this book, but whatever. I'm on page 189. And then I have actually finished this book. This is the book I finished for this month. I'm not worrying about that. Okay, Goodreads, updated, check. Let's go to Storygraph. Now, Storygraph, I only have 27 books, and I found out that I did not update mismatched on here, so we're gonna do that on Storygraph first. And then we'll add Hazelbly. Oh, I did say that I read it. I just didn't put the dates in. I just didn't put the date in. That's the problem. All right, I read it on the 9th of February. Oh, not 2024. Stop. That is updated. I swear to God, how do you use this stupid website? Did I already write a review? Okay, I know we had this problem last time, but I literally don't see where to write a review. I'm so confused. I don't understand. Oh, okay. See review. I did write a review. Okay. Okay, good. I just didn't put the dates in. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Moving on. Hazelbly and the Deep Blue Sea. Let's update this one. Alright, I read this. Let's add a read date. I read this from the 10th of February to the 27th of February. Update. Add a review. This book is emotional, hopeful, kind of sad, kind of tense. It's kind of medium. Definitely character. Definitely yes. Definitely yes. I would say yeah. Kind of. 5 stars. Paste. Slay. Updated. Right. Don't know how to work this website. I don't understand it. Alright, there we go. My 2025 reading challenge. 200 books. 14%, 29 books. Okay, updated. We're good. We got it. Done. All right, let's update my reading spreadsheet too while we're here. The only book I have to add is Hazelbly, so let's do that real quickly. I think that's the only book I need to add. We'll check the stats afterwards and make sure. I do own this book. I gave it 5 stars. Did not DNF it. It's not a reread. I would say it is a contemporary, maybe like a little magical realism, I think is what I'm gonna put. Very subtle. Not really, but you know. Of course, no space. It's a novel. I read it physically. It's not a series. It is set in the United States. It was released in 2021. I can't believe it took me so long to read that. It is traditionally published. Who is it published by? Little Brown. Is that on the list? It is. I have read this author before. I would say it's diverse. Yeah, sure. It's an FMB romance. Asian side character. I think that's it, maybe. I purchased this from somewhere. It is blue. 2/10/2025 to 27/2025. Goodreads is up. Oh, Goodreads is updated. Author guide. Done. Okay, also reading spreadsheet updated. Let's double check that I inputted everything. Yep, 29 books read, so that's good. Everything looks correct. My February stats are as expected. Everything looks correct. So that's good. Everything is updated. I will go into my stats more in depth in my wrap-up video, so we will do that then. Alright, so here's my calendar for the month. We're gonna go ahead and talk about my plans, my content plans, what I'm planning, the videos I'm planning to do. Let's jump into it. As you can see, I have a Monday, Friday posting schedule going on, subject to change, of course. I have a full-time job. I have other things I do. This is not my main source of income. This is not my full-time job. So, subject to change. This is an ideal schedule. The things I'd like to post, what you guys can look forward to. Let me know if there's something I absolutely must do, something you're looking forward to, something you'd like to see me do in the future. I'm open to all suggestions, all feedback, so please let me know in the comments down below if you have anything to say. But let's just talk about what I'm planning to do this month. So, as you can see on the calendar for tomorrow is my March reset, which is what we are filming right now. Also this week I would like to get my February wrap-up up, and so I have that tentatively planned for Friday. I also would like to do a sort of spring TBR. I did a fall TBR and I really liked doing that. I thought that was kind of fun to talk about, not necessarily like what I'm planning to read that month, but what I'm planning to read that season, kind of like that quarter. A little bit of a wider TBR, maybe some like new releases, some seasonal type of reads. I thought that might be fun to do, so I'm planning to do like a spring TBR to let you know the books that I am interested in that might be coming up, might be popping up on my channel, things that I have on my radar, stuff like that. So that's the video I'm planning to do next Monday, and then my queer historical romance vlog will go up the following Friday. I also still have my Ashley Herring Blake author guide on the docket, coming down the pipeline, so I'm gonna try and get that out this month as well. I have my next TBR takedown video planned. I have the books unwrapped, and you'll see a sneak peek of them in my bullet journal, even though I'm not going to talk about them in my TBR, so look out for that. Keep your eyes peeled if you want to be spoiled. If you don't, I also need to do a quarterly, I'm planning to do kind of like a quarterly book haul, because I don't buy enough books to like do a monthly book haul. That would be insane, but I do like acquire a few here and there throughout the month, so I think by the end of March I will probably have enough to do a book haul, and so I'm planning to do a book haul of everything that I purchased so far in the year, and I will talk about all of those books. I also really want to do a queer sci-fi reading vlog. I have 3 books picked out for this. I might show them in my TBR section, I might not, haven't decided yet, but I want to read some queer sci-fi. I'm just in the mood, so I have this on the plan. I also thought about the idea of doing one of those trying to finish my March TBR in a week video vlogs, and that might end up being what happening. That might end up being what am I saying? That might end up what that video is that week. Just a more casual reading vlog if I don't feel like I have enough time this month to tackle all of these reading vlogs. I don't know how it's gonna go. So this one is the most subject to change. You feel me? So March 31st is International Trans Day of Visibility, if you didn't know. March 31st. So on that day, I am going to make a video about my favorite books with trans main characters. That's on the docket. That's definitely happening. I'm excited about that. And then we get into April reset, March TBR territory. There's kind of a lot of queer days of visibility going on in the next couple of months, so some of my calendar's planned around that, which is why I have all 3 of those videos on that week, if that'll actually be how things shake out. But that is my tentative content plan for the moment. So let me know your thoughts if you have any. Okay, so we did quite a few things right there. We updated my Goodreads and my Storygraph. We updated my reading spreadsheet, and we talked about my content plan for March. So all of those things are done. All of those things are taken care of. All of those things are reset. I'm very happy about that. So let's go ahead and move into my reading journal. So we're gonna fill out my 2025 yearly pages together, and then I'm going to flip through my filled in pages for February, and I'm also going to flip through my pages, my empty pages for March. So let's go ahead and hop into that footage. Hello, let's update my bullet journal. So I have all of my supplies here. These 4 mild liners I used in all of my yearly spreads. I love this Sharpie fine line felt tipped pen. That's what I used to write. I have a pencil just in case I need a pencil. And then I also use these two colors of these color cream highlighters in my yearly spreads, so we'll be using those. I also used both of these for my February spreads, although those are updated. We're just going to flip through them. But we are going to update all my yearly pages together because that's fairly simple and very fun. So let's go ahead and open up my journal here. Move these to the side. I zoomed out a little bit. I don't like to zoom out usually on the camera because it tends to make it a little bit fuzzy, but hopefully with the back camera it will be okay. Although if it is difficult for you to like read or irritate, the quality is irritating, please let me know and I'll see what else that I could do to kind of make the angle wider. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is my goal page. I haven't really met any of these things yet, so I think we're going to not worry about that right now. I'm also waiting to print out like a full sticker page of titles. Maybe one of like next month we'll be able to fill out this page together as well as the Buzzwordathon pages together, but for now we're not going to worry about it. So the first page that we can update is this 12 months of books. I have updated 6 books already for February, but I did end up reading 13, so we will be able to color that many in. Obviously 17 through 26, that's 10, and then I'll color in 3 more to make 29, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, I'm just gonna double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, that is correct. Now, this reading tracker page, we talked about this last month. I think it's ugly. I'm gonna try my best to update it. So I'm gonna just flip back and forth to my February pages to update it because I think that's just gonna be easiest. On the 10th, I read 278 pages, didn't listen to any audio. I don't think I listened to any audio for the rest of the month, so 200 pages is blue. Okay, on the 11th, I read 284 pages, also blue. On the 12th, I read 370 pages, which is yellow. And this series that I'm reading here threw me into a reading slump. So you'll see it get much less after this. So on 2/13, I read 155, which is going to be green. On the 14th, I read 119, also green. On the 15th, I read 57, which is pink. And then on the 16th, I read 15, which is light pink. Then I didn't read anything until the 19th when I read 64 pages, which is, again, this pink. This one's really hard to open. And then on the 20th, I read 110 pages. On the 21st, I read 68. And then I didn't read anything until the end of the month. And so on the 27th, I read 121, and on the last day of the month, I read 28. So that's my sad little reading tracker updated for the month of February. There were quite a lot of days that I didn't read at all, which is sad, but the 24-hour readathon really helped me out not fall too far behind, although I am a little bit behind. All right, again, these are just FYI pages. There's quite a few things coming out in March, though, so I'm excited to get to all of these. All right, this 2025 shelf we can update. All right, I am going to color in the books first before I write them in. So these are colored in by star rating. You can see my little key over here. I had quite a few 5-star books the last part of the month. Some of these I already read in February. I already updated. Starting with Soul Eater. So I've updated 5 already, so I have to input quite a few. First one would be a 5-star, then a 3-star, and another 3-star. And then I think all the rest of the books for the month are 5 stars, which is pretty cool. They're not all full 5 stars, they're kind of 4.5, but I think that they're more 5 stars than 4 stars, so I am going to color them all yellow. Actually, I think I'm going to say one was 4 stars, and then the rest were 5. I kind of want these to dry a moment before I write on them. All right, that's my 2025 shelf updated. It's pretty exciting that I already made it to my second shelf with just 2 months into the year, so I'm happy about that. Let's move on to the next page, which is my book bracket, and I do think that for February, my best book of the month is going to be Last Night at the Telegraph Club, so we can write that in. I don't know which of these two books I liked better. That's such a hard decision to make in this moment. I don't know why I didn't think about that before I hit play. Let me think on it. I'm gonna think on it a bit. Maybe I'll put in all of the best books and then do this round. I don't know. I'm not making that decision right now. All right, on my series tracker, I did update the Winner Bakes All series. I did read Paris Dalencourt this month. I don't think that I read anything from any other series though. Oh. Yeah, I have not read anything further there, but I did read 2 books on my 25 and 25, which is pretty great. I should have probably read 4 by now if I'm doing that, but oh well. I read Hazel Bly and the Deep Blue Sea, and I gave it 5 stars. So I'm gonna fill that in. And then I also read Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, and I also gave that one 4 stars, or 4. I gave it 5 stars, actually. Because I loved it. So very successful first 2 5-star predictions read, both accurate. Pretty cool. I guess I know my reading taste pretty well. Next page again, we're not going to talk about right this second because I'm not printing out the book covers. Here, can I fill anything else out? I do think that I can, actually. All right, so I did read a book that starts with O, so I can write that book in. I read a book that starts with A. And then I also read a book that starts with D. So that's some pretty good progress on that challenge. Don't think I have anything else to add. I'm not doing this right this minute. On my 2025 physical TBR, I did find out that one of the books that I had on my unwrap isn't in here. So I'm kind of upset about that. I guess I'd never counted that, but I did read it and it was on my TBR for quite a while. So unless it's in here and I just can't find it, which is also possible, but I can cross out Hazel Bly because I read Hazel Bly. And then I don't think there was anything else because I read Last Night at the Telegraph Club, Spin With Me, Stars in the Blackness Between Them, Stars in Your Eyes, and Paris Dalencourt in that stupid vlog. I don't know why Paris didn't make it onto this list. If someone finds it, like, tell me what column it's in, because it's just so strange that it's not listed here. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Those are crossed out. What I can cross out is crossed out, so. Here is my TBR tracker. So, because Paris isn't here, I think that I don't know whether to count it or not. I'm so confused. Okay, whatever. I read 2 books from that count, unfortunately only 2. And I added 5. Now we have 209. And our net total is +3. I need to get this under fucking control because this is not working out for me. Okay, NetGalley tracker. I didn't read any. I added 1. I now have 29. And I somehow have the same ratio. At least it's not getting worse. Alright, and then my 2025 stats page. Let's go through this. So in February, I read 13 books. 5 of them were physical, 6 of them were ebooks, 2 of them were audio. I read 3,187 pages. I listened to 604 minutes of audiobooks. I did not DNF anything. I did reread 1 book. I had 7 5-stars, which is pretty awesome. I hauled 5 books. I unhauled 0. I have 4,982 subscribers, so I went up almost 90, which is pretty awesome. I'm so close to 5,000. I thought I would never reach it. I've been stagnating at 4.7, 4.9 for like 3 years, it feels like. I didn't count how many videos I did. I know that I did more than January, which, you know, is improvement, so I'm gonna, you know, take it as a win. I published 5 videos, which is not terrible. And then I gained like a few followers on Instagram, which is interesting because I did nothing on Instagram. Alright, that is my stats page updated. We don't need to flip through January because January is long gone at this point, and we talked about that last month, but I will show you my February pages filled out. So honestly, none of my planned things happened, which is sad. I did work on my trips and I did go to New Orleans, but all of my other things got canceled because all my other friends got sick. But that's okay. February was still overall a pretty good month, other than being in a reading slump. But it was like a reading slump for a good reason, because the book series I read was so good that it put me in like a reading hangover, a book hangover. I don't know why I called it that. It put me in a book hangover. So at least it was like kind of a positive reason for a reading slump, but it's still a reading slump. Anyway, here's my TBR. I crossed out the ones I read. I didn't probably even read 50% of the books I plan to read, which, you know, pretty typical of me. This is my page tracker page. As you can see, really not so great the last half of the month. Just really not great. This is when I was in New Orleans, so I'm like, I was on vacation, doesn't count. I also could have read, but I didn't. Here's my reading tracker page. I love that I made 2 pages this month and didn't need them, and that I literally only used 1 page. I still made 2 for March though, because I'm nothing if not hopeful for the future. You know, like I'm nothing if not overly ambitious and maybe quite delusional in what I believe that I can get done in a month. So there's that. And then here's my monthly wrap-up page, and it doesn't look very pretty because I read all of my books in the first 2 weeks of the month, and so there's so much going on in the first 2 weeks of the month and then nothing going on in the latter half of the month. But I do love my little list of books. I think that's cute, so it is what it is, I guess. All right, and here's my March flip through. I haven't filled out my monthly summary yet because you guys don't need to know what I'm doing. I just did another simple title page. I tried to draw a little shamrock for March. It didn't come out that good. It kind of looks more like a club, like from the card game, like from cards, or like the symbol for the Saints football team. I feel like is kind of more what it looks like, but it's supposed to be a shamrock. I got these new mild liners. I haven't seen the shades before, and it's this like olive color that I used, and it looks so pretty on the page. It's such like a nice calm green, and I really like it. And that's the only color I used. My pages, my spreads are very simple, very similar to last month, although I did add my goals to my March page because I feel like maybe having a reference to them and looking at them more than once a month will maybe help me complete them. We'll see. These are my goals. We already talked about those. And then I just wrote out my TBR here. You can kind of get exclusive information from this because I'm not going to talk about in depth my TBR takedown TBR or my queer sci-fi vlog TBR because I want it to be a surprise. And here is my simple page tracker. Again, days of the month down the side, number of pages across. I don't typically read more than 400 pages in a day. I don't typically read more than 200 pages in a day, but some days I do read more, so I like to have the room in case that I do. Here again is my reading tracker page. I think this looks very neat and clean and lovely, and it makes me happy to look at it. I did again use 2 pages. Hopefully I will need them. And then I set up my monthly wrap-up page, and it's just my little March calendar right now, totally blank, although it is the 2nd day of the month and I have already read a book, so I will fill that in later. But I wanted you to see the clean unfilled out pages, and then next month you can come back to see my filled out March pages. So that is my reading journal update, and let's go back to me and we will talk about my TBR for March. All right, we are back. And so we have now updated my reading journal and made my March pages, so that can be checked off the list. And now we're going to go ahead and go over my March goals and March TBR. Here are my March goals and my March TBR. Let's go ahead and go over it. So my March goals are going to look very similar to my February goals. Actually, I do want to change this one. The big goal, I want to read 18 books this month. I read 13 in February. I don't know why I short-circuited there. I read 13 in February. This is lower than I need to read. My overall goal for the year is to read 200. And so now that I'm behind, I have to read 18 one month and 17 all the rest of the months. We're gonna try and get caught back up now in this month, in March. So the goal is to read 18 books. I also would like to complete the buzzword and the buzz cover challenges once again. Let me actually look up what those are, because I don't know. Oh, a cover featuring books. Interesting. That's fascinating. Wonder what the word challenge is. Okay, the word challenge is thing. The word thing, everything, something. I don't have one of those. I don't have anything that has the word thing in it. Oh no! Oh no! Alright, so I'm gonna have to find something specifically to read for Buzzwordathon this month. And like I said, the cover challenge is a cover featuring books. That is not good for me. Oh no! Cover featuring books? What the hell? Alright, I'm sure I can find something. I'm not gonna find it right this minute. I'll have to add something to my TBR though in order to complete these challenges. Yay, woohoo, awesome, love that for me. Well, that's the best. I don't know, whatever. We're not gonna worry about that right now. Let's just keep things moving. Anyway, those are the 2 challenges that I have to meet this month. Woo! I would also like to be consistent on YouTube again. At a minimum, 1 video a week. For March, that means 5 videos because March is a long month. So I'm gonna try and post at least 5 videos in order to meet this challenge. Again, I would like to resurrect my Instagram. I keep filming things to make into reels and I keep just not editing them together and posting them. So I need to do it. Also, today I should shoot a freaking wrap-up photo. Like, that would be great. That would be easy. I need to do it. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. And I know, like, once I get into the habit of doing it, it'll be so much easier because it really doesn't take that much time. It's, like, not like I want to dedicate a ton of time to it. I just, like, want to be present on the platform. I don't know. We'll see. That's a goal. Anyway. Moving on, let's go ahead and just talk about my TBR. So some of these are the same from February, so the ones that are repeats, I'm just going to run through really quickly, and then we will talk about the ones that I haven't talked about yet. Probably not super in-depth, but a little bit more in-depth. So I do have my March TBR broken down into categories to make it kind of easier for both, mostly for me. So I do have my historical romance vlog. I have 2 books left to read for it. One is Backwards to Oregon by Jay. This is a WLW romance that is set on the Oregon Trail. It's actually more like a FMB romance. I would characterize one of the characters as trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming, but it's marketed as a WLW romance. I'm not sure. We'll talk about that more in the vlog. Also for that vlog, planning to read You Should Be So Lucky by Cat Sebastian. This is a MLM romance set in the 1960s between a reporter and a baseball player. And basically this baseball player is kind of not getting a very good rap in the media right now. Our reporter character is assigned to take on the story, figure out what's going on. There must be some kind of deeper story here. He's going to do some kind of like interview series about this baseball player and they fall in love, I'm sure. I love Cat Sebastian. I loved the first book in this series, We Could Be So Good. That was one of my favorites of the year, so I'm very much looking forward to finally picking this one up. You would think I would be getting to it more since I'm so excited, but it's been on like every TBR this year. But moving on, I also would like to finish my Ashley Herring Blake backlist reading situation. I think that it's hard for me because I don't typically reach for YA books, and these 2 are YA titles, Suffer Love and How to Make a Wish. Suffer Love is a YA contemporary romance. I think it's between a heterosexual couple. How to Make a Wish is a sapphic YA contemporary, and I'm more interested in that one. I think it's also like about a mother-daughter relationship. But 1, I don't reach for YA, and 2, I don't reach for ebooks that aren't from Kindle Unlimited. Those are my 2 like hurdles that I need to just get over. I need to read these books. So hopefully that will be done this month. Also, I have another TBR takedown video coming. I have already unwrapped the books. I do know what they're going to be, but I'm not going to tell you yet unless you looked at my reading journal because I did write them down in my reading journal. But I would like you to be surprised because that's one of the fun parts of unwrapping in that video. I'll give you a little sneak peek. This is the stack that we're working with. This is the stack. What do you think? What do you think's in there? Who knows? Alright, now my queer sci-fi vlog. For that vlog, I have 3 sort of sapphic, queer, WLW, also 2 books with trans rep sci-fis. So I'm very excited about all 3 of these. Junker 7 was a book that I got in my Rainbow Crate, and I wish I wasn't poor because I really would like to resubscribe to Rainbow Crate. I love them so much. They would be a dream like sponsorship for me. Like I would fucking rather collab with them than anyone else. Anyway, let's talk about this book. This is a sci-fi space odyssey sort of book. And this is a romance between a trans character and a non-binary character. And they have this romance during this epic sci-fi quest across the universe. So I'm very excited about this one. It is so pretty. I love it so much. And then also in that video, I'm planning to read The Stars Too Fondly, which is a WLW romance set in space again. I think it's also kind of like a found family situation. There is like a group of characters who are like kind of on this heist. They steal this spaceship and it sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm very excited to read this one as well. I'm just in a mood to read these, I think. Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki is another sci-fi. I think this one is less romance, although I do believe it has romance in it, and it also has a trans side character in it. It's a WLW romance. I think it involves music. I think it's a bit more of a serious tone than the other two that I was talking about. It's more kind of sci-fi slash litfic, I believe, but I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I've been so intrigued by it since I heard about it, so I'm very excited to finally get to it and read it in that reading vlog and tell you guys all about it. So alright, and then we've talked about how abysmal my NetGalley score is, so I would really like to read the books I have on NetGalley that came out in January, February, and March. The first of which, The Two Hungers of Prince Pierre. I don't know why that's spelled wrong here. That, along with The Prince's Heart, are two MLM fantasy romances involving royalty. Obviously, they both have Prince in the title. I haven't heard anything about either of these. I think I requested them on a whim from NetGalley when I saw them, but they both sound really interesting and I would like to read them. I also have The Shots You Take by Rachel Reed, which comes out literally in like a day or two. It is a new MLM hockey romance from Rachel Reed, and I'm so excited to pick that one up. I love Rachel Reed, obviously. She is a queen of the sports romance genre. I recommended her book Heated Revelry in my most recent sports romance recommendation vlog. So good. If you haven't read that book, incredible. So I'm excited to read this new book from her. I also have Homegrown Magic. I think this is by Rebecca Podos. Yeah, and Jamie Paxton. This is another queer fantasy romance. I think that this one's cozy. It is about these two characters who used to be friends, and I think now they're enemies or strangers. I can't remember which. And then they come back together and they have a little romance, and it's cute. One character is, I believe, non-binary, so we have that representation in there, and I love that. So I am always interested in a little cozy romance. I believe that I've read Rebecca Podos before too and enjoyed her, if I'm not mistaken, so I'm excited to get to this one. Honestly, the one I'm probably most excited for in this list from NetGalley is I did get approved for A Gentleman's Gentleman by TJ Alexander. Is that his name? Yeah, TJ Alexander. So excited for this book. This is an MLM Regency historical romance with, yeah, a trans main character. I've read a few books from TJ Alexander and really enjoyed them, but I really just love a Regency romance, a queer Regency romance. I just eat that shit up. So I'm so excited for this book, and I know that I'm gonna love it. And then I also have a few audiobooks from the library that I need to get to. First of which is a book that I've already finished reading, and that is The False Prince, Jennifer Nielsen. Now, this book was never really on my radar, which I'm kind of surprised it wasn't, because I looked it up and so many of like my OG booktube faves have like read and loved this book. So I'm surprised I never had really even heard of it, but my good friend Izzy, it's her favorite book, and so she read The Soul Eater for me. So I was like, I guess I gotta read your favorite book too, girl. That was The False Prince, and so I read that and I loved it. It was great, and I will talk more about it in my wrap up. It was definitely kind of outside my wheelhouse, but it was still a lot of fun. So I read that real quick from the library. It's like a middle grade fantasy trilogy with a really interesting main character who has like a really strong voice and is just a fun like character to read about. So I really enjoyed that one, and I'm glad that I did that. I can check it off the list already. Hey, look at me. And then I have 3 more audiobooks out from the library right now, and I actually have all 3 of those books physically as well, but they're just ones that I haven't been reaching for, and so when that happens, I see if there's an audiobook in the library that I can read concurrently with my physical book, and that's a good way to get through my physical TBR. So that's what we're doing with these. In the Case of Heartbreak by Courtney Kay, this is an MLM contemporary romance. It is the second book in kind of like a interconnected standalone series. The first book was like a WLW Hallmark Christmas movie-esque contemporary romance. It was cute. I didn't love it, but I did like these 2 characters in the book, so I'm excited to see their romance, where it goes, what happens with them. I also have Love at First Set by Jennifer Dugan. This is a WLW romance between a gym girl and somebody, and I think there's like fake dating and they like go to a wedding together or something. I don't know. I haven't had super good luck with Jennifer Dugan, but I'm reading this for another project, so I need to get through it, and the audiobook's short. So I also have The Fiancé Farce by Alexandria Bellafleur. This is a book that I have wanted to get to for a long time because I love Alexandria and I've loved some of her other books, specifically her WLW books. So I definitely am excited to read this one. As you can probably tell, there's like a fake marriage situation going on, and I'm sure it'll be super cute and well written, and I'm very excited to get to it. So that was the last thing we had to do for our March reset. Very exciting. This definitely took a lot less time than the last time I filmed this video, so I'm very glad. I definitely just need to be like more on top of things, I think, throughout the month. I just was doing too much last month. I was doing way too much. This month went a lot more smooth, a lot better, so I'm very happy about that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoyed. As always, please don't forget to do all the fun YouTube things. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed it. I post videos exclusively about queer books over here, so if that's in your wheelhouse, if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe and stick around. I would love to have you. Also, like this video, it helps me in the algorithm, lets me know you enjoy this kind of content, those kinds of things. Also, leave me a comment down below. I love chatting with you guys, hearing your thoughts, hearing your opinions. All of that is very helpful to me and also just enjoyable to me, so I would love to chat with you guys down there. Also, all of the books that I had on my TBR I have linked in the description. These are affiliate links, earn a tiny commission if you purchase through them. No pressure. I understand if you don't want to. It's all good. They're just there in case you want them. You can also follow me on all social media. Those links are in the description as well. And I think that's everything I have today. So thank you again so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.